Doug Bramer, a family man, a committed Christian and lay minister, an enthusiastic retailer and manager, a sportsman, a mentor, and a friend. No book, no speech, and no slideshow can adequately describe a life as full, influential, and fun-loving as his life has been. So add in your own memories of Doug as you watch this series of photos. Douglas Clifford Bramer was born July 14, 1924 to Annie and William Bramer, the fourth of 15 children, 10 of whom survived infancy. That's Doug in the top left. Doug survived tuberculosis, stammering, and the poverty of the Great Depression in his childhood. On Mother's Day, 1932, Doug asked Jesus to be his Savior. He finished grade 8 and then took a job to help the family. Doug saved enough money to get his first new bicycle at 16. A few years later, he bought the first of many used cars. Doug and his brothers were fast runners, strong and well coordinated, and loved playing horseshoes, baseball, hockey, and other sports. Doug had continued to go to church through his teens, climbing down the steep Hamilton Mountain with his sisters to go to Bethany Gospel Hall, part of the Plymouth Brethren movement. There he came under the influence of such preachers as David Kirk, Dr. Harlow, John Smart, C. Ernest Tatham, and Alfred P. Gibbs. These men were starting Emmaus Bible School, and Doug decided he wanted to study the Bible and prepare for ministry. His summer internship took him to small mining and farming towns of northern Ontario, where he and a colleague would preach on Sunday and hold children's vacation Bible school during the week. One of the towns they visited was Hillsbury, now part of Temiskaming Shores, where they met a Scottish couple who had a small house in walking distance from the Bible chapel. Doug was invited back for meals, and there he met the Stewarts' 4 daughters and young son. It was the third daughter, Vera, vivacious and pretty and smart, and with long red hair, that caught his eye. He visited the next 2 summers, and by then they were romantically involved. Doug graduated from Emmaus in 1949, and August the 5th of the next summer, Doug and Vera were married. They started their life in North Bay, but over the next 15 years there were 13 house moves and 7 children born. Throughout, Doug was faithful in church attendance at the local Brethren assemblies, participating in the communion service, leading the Sunday school, midweek children's programs, and usually 1 or 2 other ministries such as prison work, youth work, visitation, and eldership. They moved to Sudbury, where Doug took a couple of different jobs in the mines. Paul, then Stephen, were born there. Eleanor, Tim, and Mark were born when they moved back to North Bay, and where they had Frank Delandria build them a house. When Doug was hired as manager of the Fox Cartage and Storage Pembroke office, they moved to a farmhouse there. After another year in Sudbury, they moved to Oakville, where Doug took a position in his brother-in-law's jewelry store, becoming heavily involved in the Sunday school work and ministry of Hopedale Bible Chapel. Ruth and then Martha were born there. After a few more moves, they purchased a home near Hopedale Plaza, where the Straits Jewelers store that Doug managed was located. Doug completed managerial and gemology courses. 536 Sandmere was also close to EAR School, where the Bible Chapel held Sunday services. But it was a big day when the assembly got its own building close to the school. Doug was the Sunday school superintendent and for many years the teacher of the teens. He helped guide the Golden Horseshoe Christian Youth Center and mentor a group of teens and young adults in the 1970s who met in their basement. That group gave Doug and Vera a gift of a Holy Land tour, a desire of their heart. The group also had a 20-year reunion and honored Doug and Vera for their hospitality. Doug began to direct a couple of weeks of summer camp at Camp Oshbakoon every year, and he was increasingly asked to marry couples in the church and community, eventually officiating at 149 weddings, at least that many funerals, and many baptisms. Doug loved going to see his boys playing football, basketball, volleyball, or hockey, and Eleanor when she ran track and field, and he participated in the church baseball and hockey teams. The family grew, getting married and setting out on careers. Doug retired from his position as manager of the Straits Jewelers in Hopedale Mall, a job he'd held for 27 years. This gave him more time for ministry, traveling, woodwork, and family, especially his beloved grandchildren. The family continued to grow with frequent extended family gatherings at 536 for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and just about any other excuse they could find. Milestones such as their 40th, 50th, and 60th wedding anniversaries were celebrated, and Doug's July 14th birthday was an annual event. Doug and Vera visited their children wherever they lived, with Doug usually being pressed into helping paint or repair. He enjoyed his role in Awana, being a chaplain at 2 seniors' residences and 2 legions, as well as being an elder for many years at Hopedale Bible Chapel. He continued to enjoy sports, both playing and watching for many years and meeting with friends from time to time. Doug grew older but not less happy, continuing to tell jokes, have his morning devotions, and enjoy life. However, the passing of Vera, his wife of 67 years, was a major blow. He moved into Holland Christian Homes, where he was well cared for and had visits from his 2 sisters and brother, Christmas parties with extended family, and friends from Hopedale Bible Chapel. He received regular pastoral visits from Arthur Dixon, and his family continued to visit him. Paul, Stephen, Eleanor, Tim, Mark, Ruth, and Martha. Even during the COVID-19 pandemic, an infection which finally ushered him into glory, he was visited as much as possible by his family, including an outdoor visit with Eleanor and her husband Kevin, who read the scriptures and played the bagpipes for Doug and for all to hear.